Of course, no one wants to unnecessarily remove a food from their child's diet. But one thing you really have to keep in mind is that what your child eats has everything to do with the symptoms that they are having. Hey everybody, it's Bettina Gross and I'm back with another video to help you navigate the rough waters that are your child's health with ease and holistically. Today I just wanted to talk about what to do if you suspect food is a trigger for your child's health problems. When it comes to asthma, allergies, eczema, or any chronic inflammatory type of illness, really, there is often a food component, and food can make things worse. For some of you, that might be new information to think that food could affect your child's allergies or your child's asthma. And yet, the more work I do, I will say 9 times out of 10, you can find a food trigger that can make symptoms worse or exacerbate symptoms. Of course, nobody wants to eliminate a food that they don't need to. Nobody wants to go on a gluten-free, dairy-free, egg-free, soy-free diet. Nobody wants to do that stuff. But sometimes we just need to do it. And sometimes these triggering foods are healthy. They can be healthy foods, but in your child's body, they aren't working. Just to give you some examples for foods that have come up as a trigger for the families that I work with. It has been bananas, milk, coconut, eggs. But the most common food triggers really are gluten, dairy, soy, corn, eggs, and nuts. They make up 80% of food triggers, triggering inflammation and the related symptoms. Sometimes it's hard to know if the food is a trigger. So a lot of times when parents suspect food to be a trigger, what I see is that they won't eliminate the food from the child's diet, but they will just cut it back. And the reality is cutting back on a food is just not going to cut it when it comes to food triggers. One thing you really have to keep in mind is that what your child eats has everything to do with the symptoms that they are having. If your child is eating a clean diet and they are not eating any sugar or any refined carbohydrates, if they are eating healthy soups and bone broth, you can be assured it's usually not going to be too much related to the diet. But for most kids, that is just not the case. Changing what our kids eat is super important for resolving symptoms like asthma, allergies, or even eczema. And the thing is, most doctors don't know this information. They have very little training in nutrition and certainly not in functional nutrition, where we really look at the relationship between food and the inflammation inside the body, causing a wide variety of symptoms. So if you suspect that food is a trigger for your child's symptoms, what should you do? So the first step is to start keeping a food diary. Write down everything that your child eats and also note the symptoms they experience throughout the day. This will help you to identify patterns and potential triggers. And always keep in mind that symptoms may occur up to 72 hours after your child has been exposed to the trigger. Once you have identified a potential trigger, the next step is to eliminate that food from your child's diet for a period of time. This can be difficult, but it is necessary to see if the food is indeed a trigger. If your child's symptoms improve during this time, you may have found a trigger food. Yay! If not, you just tweak your child's diet and test another food. In other words, eliminate another food. And you rinse and repeat that process until you have identified the food that is causing your child to react with certain symptoms. So again, once you suspect that a certain food may be triggering your child's symptoms, you have to eliminate it from their diet completely. This can be a difficult task, especially if the food is a common part of their meals or if they love the taste. However, it is important to remember that this is a temporary change. And once their symptoms improve, you can slowly reintroduce the food and monitor their response. During the elimination phase, it's important to continue a food diary and track any changes in symptoms. This will help you to identify any other potential food triggers and determine if there is a correlation between certain foods and symptoms. In addition to the diary, I really recommend you start working with a healthcare professional who specializes in functional nutrition to help you navigate the process and provide additional guidance. So, another important step is to focus on a clean, nutrient dense diet, an anti inflammatory diet, so to speak. This means eliminating processed foods, sugar, and unhealthy fats, and focusing on whole foods like fruits, vegetables, lean protein, and healthy fats. Foods that are high in omega-3 fatty acids like salmon, walnuts, and flaxseed can be particularly beneficial for reducing inflammation in the body. It's also important to address any underlying gut issues, as the gut plays a crucial role in the immune system's reactivity and can be a key factor in development of allergies and all other inflammatory diseases. A healthcare professional can help you to determine if your child has any gut imbalances, such as leaky gut syndrome or a dysbiosis, and provide you with guidance on how to address them and heal them. Finally, it's important to involve your child in the process and help them understand the importance of a healthy diet and the impact it can have on their health. Encourage them to try new foods and experiment with healthy recipes, celebrate their progress along the way. Remember, addressing food triggers and making dietary changes can be a challenging process, but the rewards are well worth it. By identifying and eliminating trigger foods, you can help your child to manage their symptoms more effectively and improve their overall health and well-being. It's always important to remember that every child is unique, and what works for one child may not work for another. If you suspect that food may be contributing to your child's state of health, it's important to work with a qualified healthcare professional to identify and address these triggers. So if you're struggling to identify the triggers or you are not sure where to start, if you are feeling stuck or overwhelmed and need some guidance on how to identify and address your child's triggers, I invite you to book a free discovery call with me. During this call, we'll dive deeper into your child's specific situation, and I'll help you to make a decision on your next steps to help them heal. You'll leave the call feeling empowered and clear on what steps to take next to help your child thrive. Just click the link in the description to schedule your call, and I'll see you there. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.